Hello, this is Matt, and I've been looking at a number of tools for repurposing existing hardware, existing desktops, laptops, and most of the tools in the market, or most of the software in the market, tends to be focused on the Linux distribution or quite often Windows. However, Neverware in particular have an offering based on Chrome OS called CloudReady. CloudReady allows me to repurpose an existing device to run a Chrome operating system. So this is what I've done here. I've got a Dell Latitude laptop, which I've repurposed. So basically to do that, you have a USB key, which you build an image on over the wire, so across the cloud, and it'll create a bootable USB key that you could then use. There are a number of different methods for converting the hardware, but that's the one that I used. That process took around 20 minutes. As you can see, there's a number of different editions. Dive in. There's a home edition, which doesn't come at any cost, and there is an education and an enterprise. Most businesses would look at the enterprise because that will give them obviously the sort of functionality that they require. If you go into the support section, so this is me just looking at Neverware's website. So if you go to the support section, in here there's a number of interesting knowledge-based articles, talks about how you actually do the conversion, how you build the USB key, and more importantly, a hardware compatibility list. So in there, you know whether you'll be able to convert the devices you have. And then in terms of actually getting the eval software, that's done via the My Neverware account. Once you have an account, you can go into a sort of management style portal, and in there you can pull down the latest image. And then when you re-image a device, it will also pick up your existing configuration. So if I drop down to mine in particular, when I rebuilt this device, it pulled down the Zoom plugin because I previously added that to my build. So one thing I wanted to do here is actually just look at not so much Neverware's website, but actually VMware Workspace 1 and VMware Horizon, just to look at how that performs when connecting to virtual desktops and virtual applications, or potentially SaaS applications. So I'm just going to authenticate. Okay, so upon login, this environment will return back various different applications I have access to. So what I have here is a number of web apps, SaaS apps like Workday, so HR tool, Socialcast, and some virtual machines themselves, so Windows 7 and a Windows 10. So in terms of my personal preferences, just to show you, what I've said is that when I launch Horizon applications, so virtual applications from the VMware Horizon platform, they'll launch in a web browser. It's a personal preference. It is possible, if we go back into the store, Horizon there. Maybe I'll put VMware Horizon just to narrow the search down. So in there you can see VMware Horizon client for Chrome. So I will just add that. Okay. So that's now installed. So you can see you have the Horizon client as well. But for the purposes of the demo here, I'm just going to use HTML5 as my client. I quite like using that. It keeps everything in the web browser. Just going to launch a Windows 10 virtual desktop that's running in our demo environment based out of Amsterdam. I'm running the test out of the UK, so I'm probably going to get, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 milliseconds of latency perhaps. As I mentioned, I'm connecting to a high-performing Windows 10 desktop with a GPU. I believe it's an NVIDIA P100 in that particular image itself. So you can see there from the splash screen that it is hosted in Amsterdam, powered by NVIDIA. So I will launch just a couple of the NVIDIA demo videos. So if we do the aquarium first, you'll see there that that's all pretty smooth. So in terms of protocol, I'm using the VMware Blast protocol within Horizon. Gives me good performance. And then maybe one of the more traditional ones that NVIDIA tend to use, which is called FaceWorks, which is a rendered image of a man's head that you can kind of rotate and spin round, and he'll sort of blink and a bit of movement. but it just shows sort of some of the capabilities and allows NVIDIA to showcase, you know, the abilities of their particular cards, which, as you can see, and then I can rotate. So hopefully on the recording that's coming through really well, but that's very smooth. As I say, given that's a virtual machine running out of Amsterdam, and I've got some latency there, that's performing particularly well. Okay, so I'll just jump back. So as I say, that was just an example of a Windows 10 image that was launched via the Workspace ONE portal, coming out of our demo environment called Test Drive. And really, I just wanted to sort of give you a quick overview of the Neverware solution. As I say, I've been testing a number of products in the market and looking at ways of repurposing both laptops and physical desktop PCs. And as I say, one of the options there is Neverware that will convert a device over to Chrome OS, which is obviously quite powerful, and that's, you know, quite a good way to look at a sort of desktop repurposing, quite cost effective. They're the only vendor in the market that do a sort of Chrome OS conversion, as far as I'm aware, or certainly that I've seen. As I say, a lot of the vendors out there focus on Linux or just sort of like a Windows shell replacement. What I'm then able to do from a VMware point of view is, because the Workspace ONE UEM product, it gives me device management across sort of traditional mobile platforms like Android and iOS. It also allows me to manage, I guess, sort of desktop operating systems. So I have full management for Windows 10 devices, as well as Mac OS X, as well as Chrome. So when converting these existing devices to Chrome, I can then actually manage them through the Workspace ONE portal as well. So I can completely unify my device management, whether it's mobile devices or the more traditional desktop devices. So hopefully you found that of interest, and thanks for your time.